Hello, everyone. 42 CEO Unk back here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about something not specifically rap related, but kind of within that, community, I'd say. Someone has a little bit of passing through kind of, I don't know, like middle ground, but I'm interested in it. I think you guys will be as well. And today we're going to be talking about Adin Ross. I know it sounds weird, but we're going to be talking about Adin Ross and how potentially he's leaving Kick. I mean, we don't know that for sure, and we're going to get into the specifics. But yes, Adin Ross potentially leaving Kick. Now, a little background. Adin Ross signed a Kick about almost 2 years ago. He was on Twitch originally, like all other streamers, well, most other streamers. And, with kind of some censorship, he believed, and some other issues going around, he worked out a massive, over $100 million deal, according to sources, with Kick, in which he'd be streaming on there for basically what kind of seemed like the rest of his career. And, that kind of happened, and the switch happened, and everyone's like, okay, Adin Ross is now the face of Kick, and he's the biggest streamer on Kick, and he still kind of was the biggest streamer on Kick. And he did some massive streams with Kick. He had the Donald Trump one. He had the Playboy Cardi one. He had a few other, massive ones, too. He had, a boxing event, too. That was pretty big. But, he was on Kick, basically kind of treating it like it was Twitch, except for he did a few things that showcased there was, less censorship on the actual app. He did indeed in the beginning of his career, and he hasn't done it since, but he did show corn, if you know what I mean. I don't even know how he got away with that, but he did. And it basically just did it to show, okay, I can do whatever I want. And since then, there's been a lot of moderation issues, which I do think that could have been one of the reasons. There were a lot of streamers on Kick who had been banned, some of which deservingly so, some of which really not deservingly so. And Adin Ross kind of put into question and asked these questions of why are you banning these creators? And as the face of Kick, he didn't necessarily really have any equity, but he's very powerful and influential, so he's kind of pushing back on some of these bans. And that was kind of the beginning of this potentially wavy relationship going on. Previous to that, it had been pretty honestly calm. He had loved Kick. He was always talking about its amazing qualities and how, much better it was than Twitch and how he could do so many more things and all of that. And I still feel like he thinks that, but definitely took an issue with some of the moderation going on in the moderation team. And so basically what happened was Adin Ross, streaming as normal, actually did a 60, or tried to do a 60-day in a row stream, where he was just going to be streaming 60 days in a row. This was basically because he had taken a long break, just I think due to mental health reasons, and he wanted to come back with a big bang and give his fans what they wanted, which was him streaming. So he was about, I'd say, 50 days in. He only had I think 12 days left, maybe 10 days left, and he stopped. Basically, it kind of honestly what it seemed like was just, again, mental health. Streaming 50 days in a row for 8 hours every day could be pretty mentally taxing, especially if you're a big streamer and especially if you have a community who's, to some, pretty toxic. And so he was about day 50, and you could really tell it was kind of getting to him. And he basically kind of just announced, hey, okay, guys, I can't make the 60 days. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to be back. He takes a break. It's been about maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks since that break, and he's announced his return. The only thing is he's not returning on Kick, or at least not seemingly so. So he had announced, potentially he was going to be doing a stream with UFC fighter John Jones and the UFC president Dana White, which is massive. That could go down as a top 5 stream for him, maybe even top 3, which is pretty insane when you consider, all the people he's had on stream. So he kind of announces that, it's coming back, all that. And it seems like a little bit of confusion on not really announcing it for Kick, anything specific like that. And then we get word and news that Eddie, who is the CEO and I believe founder of Kick, who also is one of the founders of Stake, the gambling site that funds Kick, has unfollowed Adin Ross. And you're probably thinking, like, okay, just some dumb drama. Doesn't really mean shit, right? Um, well, I mean, Eddie isn't really necessarily one of those drama kings, I should say, to unfollow just to unfollow. So, it kind of came as a bit of a shock. Eddie's like in his 30s, maybe 40s. I doubt it, probably 30s. He's a very well off man. I believe he's a billionaire, smart, well structured, has his stuff together. So it's not like he's just crashing out and, unfollowing Adin Ross. And so Adin Ross took to Twitter to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to be doing streaming soon. I'm going to, return to streaming, but I don't know where and when it's going to be because it seems like he's not going to be on Kick, which is absolutely massive. And we'll kind of get into that soon. But the reason why it's not that simple of a thing is Adin Ross has been banned on Twitch, permanently banned on Twitch. The reason was an unmoderated chat. Basically, when he first started going on Kick, he was also trying to go on Twitch at the same time, and he had the Kick chat up, and I believe they were just commenting things that aren't moderated on Kick, but are moderated on Twitch, so it was, against guidelines. But anyways, Adin Ross, if not returning to Kick, will maybe have to go to YouTube, which I guess is kind of normal, or I guess Rumble. I mean, I really don't know where you'd go after that. I just assume YouTube at this point. And he kind of made mention of that, talking about how YouTube could be a good option. All right, sorry, my connection got fucked up there. But anyways, about YouTube, that's a potential option, and so that may happen, may not happen. But again, he was the face of Kick, and this is just so bizarre to see, and you kind of wonder, like, what could have happened, and maybe we'll get more information about it soon, but it's just so strange. And then also too, one of the interesting things is what are streamers who kind of are only on Kick because of Adin Ross going to do now? There were a lot of streamers who just as fans went to Kick because they respect Adin Ross, and then there's also a lot of people who signed to Kick and their deals are kind of finishing up, like XQC, Your Rage, Bruce was one who left. You wonder, does that kind of mean, or are we not getting any, XQC on Kick, Your Rage on Kick? Like, what's happening to all of those streamers? I would assume if Adin Ross is not there, I don't know if anyone would be. I mean, there is kind of like the whole money thing. I mean, they are backed by stakes, so a lot of people are earning them, sending them money. But Twitch discoverability seems a little bit better. I'm honestly really not sure what's going to happen. But I think, could this be the end of Kick? It might very well be. There is also, a potential that this is really just a marketing ploy from Adin Ross somehow. Because it just seems so bizarre that out of nowhere, his relationship with, Kick would just go poof up in the air and suddenly, like, just dissipates. Especially when, again, no equity, but, the face of Kick. The face of Kick. It just seems so bizarre. Maybe it was just something that Adin Ross had done. Maybe it was something that Adin Ross believed Kick had done. Maybe it was something that mutually they just both parted ways. They thought it would be better. But it's kind of weird, honestly. And it really kind of changes up the whole system of streaming, honestly. Because Kick had really gone in there and made some noise. As much as, you'd like to say it or deny it, Kick got a lot of streamers. I mean, Neon, XQC, Bruce, Your Rage, Adin Ross, all of his SSB boys. They got a lot of big rappers too. It was kind of like bizarre to see that happen. So, I feel like now it just, what's next? What really comes next for Kick? And I guess, is it really confirmed that Adin Ross is gone? I believe so, but like, is it marketing ploy? Maybe not. A lot of these guests that Adin Ross got, he's claimed that he only got because he was on Kick. And, he vouched so incredibly hard for Kick so many years. Or I guess all of his years there is 2 years. And he just kind of, was a little bit of the punching bag for Kick. I mean, a lot of like Kick's faults somehow got brought onto him because he was like the big creator to get signed there. He was the one that started all the motion. So a lot of people, whenever they blame Kicks for Kick things like issues and stuff like that, he was always really taking the blame. And I'm honestly waiting for him to really speak on it specifically. I feel like his first stream back will be crazy. I'm wondering too, is maybe he getting unbanned on Twitch? Maybe he knows something that we all don't. Kai Cenat actually just made a statement saying he would talk to Kick again, but it seems like that's really not, gonna happen. I mean, like, Kai's, yes, he's gonna talk to Kick, or sorry, Twitch, but like, I don't think Twitch is gonna really listen, to be completely honest. But we'll see what happens. I don't know what could have changed. It's really just a crazy world we're living in. I think, this isn't necessarily, as I said, rap specific, but Adin Ross is pretty big within this kind of rap community because of the guests he's had on stream, because of the connections he has with rappers, and because of just the streams he's had with rappers overall, and connections, and friendships and everything like that. And I wonder too, there are some rappers who are on Kick specifically, and I wonder, will that affect them wanting to leave Kick? Will that make them want to stay more? Because a lot of these streamers signed to Kick specifically and were on Kick specifically because of Adin Ross. So it seems like one of those things of, is Adin Ross the first domino, and will he, kind of topple over and get everyone else to leave too? We'll kind of see over the next few weeks, next few months. But what are you guys' thoughts on the situation? And do you think, Adin Ross is back on Twitch? Or is he just going to YouTube? Or is this a marketing ploy? Could be any one of those things. I really don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I've been loving making them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.